YWA's ranks, giving them our heartfelt thanks for showing the way. 6 new ladies, Debbie, Beth, Lois, wow. Billy, Mary, take a bow. Yvonne, it's your day.
Hey, you okay?
No. Why is everybody leaving?
Because we don't need costumes and superpowers to change the world. You don't even need that whistle.
I don't?
No, you're powerful without it. Hey, why don't you come go with us?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think I will. And you're right. I don't need this. Hey, wait for me.
We all can change the world. We all are women of achievement.
And so, the power of ordinary people prevails once again, proving that power need not be super. It must be personal and passionate, proof that we all possess the power to do good.
We think you're really wonderful, to tell you that you're marvelous, too marvelous for words. Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host for this evening from News Channel 5, Mr. Leland Statham.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to the 30th anniversary for the Academy for Women of Achievement. That line right there deserves a big round of applause. I am so delighted to be here tonight hosting my 13th AWA ceremony. Tonight, we will see outstanding community leaders and an impressive communications firm be inducted into the Academy. They join 179 women and 32 organizations to have been previously honored. It is so good to be together and so good to be back at the Renaissance Hotel. I was here for an event just a couple of weeks ago and couldn't believe how things had changed up front and back in this area, so it's good to be here. For us, the pandemic has been a challenge for everyone, so that makes tonight so special, being able to see people, to see you face to face and not doing this over Zoom. So that makes us appreciate these things so much more. Last year, the YWCA hosted the 29th AWA in a small private ceremony in the parking lot of their administrative offices. One of the 2020 honorees, my friend, Christy Wilson, joins us tonight as co-chair of the 2021 Academy for the Women of Achievement. She and her co-chairs, 2016 AWA inductee, my friend, Marilyn Dupree, and YWCA board chair-elect, my friend, Cynthia Whitfield-Story, took up the duties of co-chairing the event and helped to make tonight possible for us to be here tonight. So please welcome Christy, Marilyn, and Cynthia to the stage.
He just redeemed himself because he was only friends with Christy. So good afternoon. Oh, good evening, I should say, right? Feels like afternoon. So I'm Cynthia Whitfield-Story, and I just want to thank you all for being here today. It's a very special occasion. I think our number is like 350, so we should give ourselves a round of applause for that. So we have this evening just a wonderful event for you, and I want to just give you a little bit of information around this event. It's the longest running recognition program for women in Nashville. Isn't that amazing? So tonight we're going to get ready to do the inductees for 2021. Dr. Glenda Glover over here. Diane Lance, I don't know where Diane is. Woo! Wanda Lyle. Woo! Saltet Ferreira. Where are you at? I don't see her. Okay, and then we have Darkenya Waller, who I saw over here. And we have MP and F, Strategic Communications. And I think y'all got 3 tables. Woo! So we also have a special treat. We got the 2020 honorees are actually going to get inducted tonight also. So I want to say a round for you also. So we got my other co-chair.
Thank you, Cynthia. And it's just so good to be together tonight, and there are so many people that we want to say thank you to for helping us finally get here. So we've been co-chairing for what we think may be the 23 months of the pandemic, and so we're really delighted to be here, but we do want to thank a lot of people who helped to make it possible. As you all know, we've planned to have the 30th ceremony in 2021, and that did not work out. The pandemic had other ideas about that, but we thank everyone who's here tonight for their patience and their support as we waited for just a little bit longer so we could be together. One of the things that the 3 of us and Sharon and the team at the YWCA really, I believe, thought a lot about as we approached tonight was the time that we took to plan the event, to unwind the event, to reconfigure the event, to cancel the event, to come up with a different way to do the tables. Let's not do a dinner. Are we going to need to cancel it because of Omicron? What's going to happen next? And instead of getting stuck in that, not surprisingly, you will know that what we decided to do was to think about not only are we here together tonight celebrating what I believe is one of the greatest cities in this country, filled with amazing women and men who helped to make this a fabulous place. From the very first time that we met as the pandemic began, one of the things that I was so struck by was that Sharon and the YWCA team led the goals that they have for the organization, the agency, on our behalf. Not one day was the shelter not available for women and their children who needed to be safe from domestic violence. This past calendar year, over 13,000 nights of safety were afforded to those individuals. They ran programs for young girls and continue to do things in creative and innovative ways. So please join me in thanking them and celebrating that we're all together.
Well, before we move ahead with the program, we want to say thank you to all of our sponsors for tonight. And thank you for seeing the value in what the YWCA is doing through its programs that seek to eliminate racism and empower women. And tonight, to recognize and celebrate some very special women. Thank you, Dollar General, for stepping up as our Dignity sponsor. That's right. Our longtime friend, Mary Wester, and the Mary Wester Foundation is our Freedom sponsor. And we're also grateful to PNC Bank for being one of our Freedom sponsors. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to continue with our sponsors. We have our peace sponsors, Amazon, Deloitte, First Horizon Bank, and Pinnacle Financial Partners. Thank you. And then we have our justice sponsors, and that's going to be Bank of Tennessee, HCA Healthcare, Kroger, Nashville Electric Service, Publix Charity, Fifth Third Bank, Bridgestone Americas, the Wilson Group, and the Ukrainian Foundation. Thank you all.
There are a lot of people to thank, right? And to our media and marketing sponsors, DVL Siegenthaler, Finn Partners, who create the bold and beautiful expressions and themes every year for us, MP&F Strategic Communication, who assist in our PR efforts, Hatcher and Fell Photographer for the lovely AWA headshots, the Tennessean, and FW Publishing. Thanks to all of them.
And of course, none of this would happen if we did not have an amazing development team at the YWCA. Thank you, Shannon, Mackenzie, Beth, Kathy, and Allison for everything you guys have done, to make our job super easy, because without them, I mean, they're just so diligent, so together, and really fun to work with. They've gotten us here today, and these ladies are led by one of the most inspiring and dedicated CEOs in our community. She is also a past AWA honoree. Please help me welcome Sharon K. Roberson.
I'll go off script. I'll move to this table. How is everyone? How is everyone? Let's bring some energy to this room because I am excited. Now, I'm going to take a little more time, sorry, development staff, than I was supposed to, but I'll make it up at the end. It's been 2 years and plus before I've had this audience to tell you about the incredible work of the YWCA. So thank you. And I am so excited. Thank you, Christy. Where'd they go? Marilyn and Cynthia. When I called them to ask them to be co-chairs of this event, they didn't hesitate. Each one of them is a dear friend of mine. And when you ask your friends to help you, and they step up to the plate in the way that they did, because this was not an easy event to plan, you are forever grateful, because friendship is an eternal grace that you are given. The women we honor tonight are extraordinary. They are people that have made an impact on their community. They are people that have stood within that headwind to make sure that when they leave this earth one day, they have left it better. There have been 179 women and 32 organizations coming before these individuals and our corporate members. That is a lot of people. But the reason we have AWA, because there was a time back in 1992 when women did not get these sorts of honors. No one was filling a room such as this to say thank you as women who are contributing to our community. And we are so grateful that now we have a room of allies that say these women too are worthy of our respect. We are so blessed tonight to have our wonderful mayor, John Cooper, and his wife. Stand up, stand up. Laura, stand up. And a little bit of a story. They have a fabulous son that did a wonderful gift to us at our Weaver shelter. But you can look online and see that. So thank you for yourselves, but thank you for your son's work also. Our vice mayor is here, so you know it must have been a slow night. We got them both at the same place. Jim Schulman. Jim is a longtime supporter of the YW, and we could not be more grateful for all the support you've always given us. Our district attorney is also here. Where's General Funk? Glenn Funk? Okay. I had to say thank you to Glenn. He's a former board member of the YW. Now, I know we have other elected officials here, but I haven't had the opportunity and did not have a list. So if you are an elected official, please stand up for a hand of applause. Thank you. Oh, that's my girl Anna. Hi, Anna. The YW is a board-supported organization. Without the strong board that we have, we could not have made it through this last 2 years. I would be the first to tell you these were some very challenging times. I want to ask the board members of the YW to stand. They kept this mission moving forward during the last 2 years. So could the YW board members please stand? And there are some very special women here, the Fulcrum Society. These are women that have determined that the YW would be one of their financial charities of choice. Could the Fulcrum members please stand? And one particular one, Mary Wester, who has gone above and beyond to host events in her beautiful home to always welcome us. And as a new person in this role, Mary was the one that stepped into that space and welcomed me. So Fulcrum members, please stand. We talked about the mission of the YWCA briefly, but a lot of times you have a shorthand version, eliminating racism and empowering women. But the rest of that mission statement is more relevant than ever. It's promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. And never have we needed the mission of the YWCA more. Now we're going to bring this a little bit personal, and this is where I go off script. Most of you who know me know that I'm the proud daughter of a 101st Airborne Green Beret soldier, 20-year military family, and I carry that, and I love that weight. When you are part of a military family, you learn early on to show respect and honor and duty. Does anyone in this room know how to properly salute someone? Some of you have served in the military. This is how you salute someone. I'm going to salute some individuals who over these last 2 years have gone above and beyond to help the mission of the YWCA to not only survive, but to thrive. First of all, I want to talk about the multiple pandemics that we faced. Everyone knows about COVID-19, but how many of you realize we also had a pandemic of domestic violence and racial unrest along with the pandemic of COVID-19? The YW's mission fits squarely in that space, and we were faced with all of that. And an organization that was not as strong and solid as the YW could not have survived, but we did. So in addition to all our allies that we have in the room, I want to name some particular individuals, because I have the stage, who have stepped up in that space. Because the one thing my dear mother taught me, I lost my mother in July, is that always say please and always say thank you. So now that I have the stage, I'm going to thank these individuals. First of all, our development staff. We've already thanked Mackenzie, Shannon, Kathy, and their leader, Beth Board. Beth has taken us through numerous virtual events, numerous customer engagements, numerous going to meet with foundations and individuals. Beth can teach a master class on donor engagement. I salute you, the YWCA development staff. Where are they? I don't know where they are. One of the most understated individuals that supports the YWCA is Ryan Fleischman. You need to know this name, but don't know it too much because I don't want to ever lose him. Without Ryan and his skill, his inquisitive mind, and determination, we would have not been able to continue to support our mission during these last 2 most difficult years. He continued to hold together ongoing significant grant funding and find new money. See, we also had a lot of money that was out there, but we were able to access this money because of Ryan's skill set. He also supported all the requirements for these funders. Ryan, from my heart, we could not have done it without you. I salute you. Orrin Crouch, as only a military brat can say, he's my foxhole buddy. I often call him that because that's what he is. When you are in the foxhole and there are bombs going out around you, you need some really solid people in there with you. Orrin is incredibly smart, capable, and caring. And he is the best complement to sometimes my most outrageous dreams. Orrin, I salute you. Let's go real quick to some mission-specific business. We talked earlier about the Weaver Domestic Violence Center. Yes, we kept it open, but it didn't stay open on its own. It stayed open because of the brave and dedicated staff led by Damian Talley. In addition to the 1,300 nights of safety, 5,000 crisis calls were answered. I salute you to the staff of the YWCA Weaver Domestic Violence Center. Now, real quick, I'm almost finished, y'all. I don't have to get bored yet. Gail Alexander. She is a champion of our pets who are survivors of domestic violence. I thank you. As of 2021, we now have the largest emergency pet shelter for victims of domestic violence. Gail, I salute you for making what was a dream a reality, and for our greatest allies, Joey Hatch and Amazon, who brought us over the finish line. I salute you. See, y'all, I like the energy. Now, the YW's Address for Success affiliate. We know that in order to move forward, women need to understand that they not only have jobs, they can have careers. We also are a volunteer-led organization. We depend on volunteers for everything that we do. And this is going to really touch me because I have been so moved by this person. Behind these efforts is Allison Adams. Allison and her team met so many obstacles head on, and they never forgot that our mission at the end of the day was to make sure that everyone was taken care of. I always say that Allison moved more boxes than Amazon during COVID. I mean, I told her, I said, how are we two old ladies moving all these boxes? But she did. And more importantly, if you've ever had a holiday season at a domestic violence center, and you see little children waking up on Christmas morning, and you see them with all the presents they put on their list, and you know that Santa Allison made it so. And it is a beautiful experience. So Allison, I thank you. I salute you. Now, what many of you don't know about the YW is we offer high setter educational classes. Kate Fleming, young mother, and she was pregnant at the time, knew that we did not want anyone to lose out on their educational opportunities because of COVID. We had students that were taking virtual classes. They wanted to test. Kate said, let's open up the Woodmont office and let's test them ourselves. So no one's dream of education would be wasted because of COVID. Now, our children suffered greatly. We are a Girls Inc. affiliate, and we have our Own a Men Together program. We needed to make sure that there was a level of normalcy. We needed to make sure these children who are part of our assets, our children are our greatest treasure. We needed to make sure that we could keep these children safe and engaged. Our Girls Inc. Team led by Vanessa Johnson, herself, a young mother and pregnant. Young mother and pregnant works for the YW. They stepped into that space and they did so many creative things. We had events in parking lots. They had videos with the girls. They engaged the boys. They did everything they could because they realized that these children had lost so much, but they were not going to lose the vision of the YWCA. I salute them all. I salute our HR staff led by Sheila Holman. Now, I'm going to take my time because these people did the work. They took 2 years to do this work, so you have to work with me. She fought through so much with her staff because you have to realize we not only had new employees we had to hire, that we also had to keep all the employees we had safe. So I salute you, Sheila. I'm going to bring up, we had so many wonderful government partners, but I want to bring up the Metro Health Department because I called the Metro Health Department, I got a contact, and I thought, well, I'm not supposed to have this number, but I had it. And I called these people on everything, and they helped us shape the protocols for shelter. They're the ones that said how we can keep the kids together and safe. They never failed to answer the call. So I thank the Metro Health Department for helping me through COVID. Now, part of our mission, of course, is the eliminating racism, and that is very important. The YW prides itself in being that really safe platform where we invite and not indict people to the table so we can have these conversations. I salute Michelle Mowry Johnson for pushing our message about domestic violence and about racial justice to our community and beyond. You are the best, Michelle, and I salute you. Now, these are a few ladies, and I say the YW is a women-led organization. They are strong women that have supported me, and I thank them. Where is Beth Chase? Janet, I know Janet could not be here tonight, and Wanda Lau. Where are you? Raise your hand, girl. You know, okay. This is my first leadership team, and I thank them because of their unwavering support to the YW. No matter when I make the call, these three ladies step into that space to support us, and I salute you. Now, where's Rita Mitchell? Where's Rita Mitchell? Rita, you know how to stand up. You like to dance, so stand up. Rita Mitchell, my sister and friend, I salute you for stepping into that space that few will, and always having faith that this YW can handle anything. Rita, I salute you. Now, bringing this forward and closing out, Amanda Weeks-Jevon and Cynthia Whitfield Story. I salute these most honorable women for providing the level of leadership and faith in what we do that I can only dream of. You ladies are the best. Lastly, I thank my family. My family is my foundation. They hold me together and put up with me. They teach me, as my husband said the other day, a freshwater lake needs rain sometimes. And so I thank them for teaching me honor and service. And I salute all of you and thank all of you and ask that if you want Nashville and Middle Tennessee to be the safest, most just city in this country, please support the critical work of the YWCA. And now, I welcome Leland Statham, our favorite meteorologist, back to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sharon. I was disappointed to miss the 2020 AWA ceremony, but I am excited to get a little bit of a taste of it here tonight. So right now, I want you all to take a look at the screens and learn more about the 2020 AWA ceremony.
So my role model for peace, justice, and dignity is one that is very popular right now, and it would be John Lewis. My why for that is a little different than the standard reason people admire him so. I admire his persistence. I admire that he stood up for things he believed in. I admire that he believed in good trouble. The reason that he is my hero in this category, though, is despite being a fiery spirit and standing up for things and going through incredible hardship, he had a capacity for joy that is just amazing to me. And if you have never seen the video of him dancing to the song Happy, it was his favorite song, then you have not seen what joy looks like. So to me, he is an amazing role model because he stood up for what he believed in, he did the hard things, but he also had the capacity for joy. And that is why I believe he was a one-of-a-kind leader. What does the YWCA mission mean to me? It means a lot to me. It means so much to me that I served on the board for 7 years, and I will support this organization for the rest of my life. And it goes back to my life's work. So for 21 years, I spent my life promoting Nashville as the best place in the country to live and to work when I was running economic development at the Chamber. And I do that same work now through a lot of other nonprofit avenues. And in that, I really do believe, and I learned that I don't believe we can be the best city in America if we are not the safest city in America for women and families and men, and a place where people can thrive. So nobody in this town does a better job of promoting that mission and being sure that women and families can be safe and secure and thrive. And I believe that's what it takes to have a great city. So that's really why I am so passionate about the YW.
Not only is this honor the Academy of Women of Achievement, an important honor to our community, but this year's theme, She Persisted. I tell you what, I'm so tired of hearing that she's bossy, but that she's persistent, because that's really the story of my journey. How many stones that were in the path of people like me and continue to be. I want to use my life, my opportunities, and my skills to say the things that I fought against, the things that I fought for are important. And the Academy of Women of Achievement, this class and many classes before us have demonstrated that we can together, when you don't give up, we can see some success. I'm so proud of this honor. I'm proud of the work of the YWCA.
You know, the YWCA has been in my world of community service since I was a very young woman. There was a lady who started the AWA for the YWCA who was a childhood mentor of mine. And so even in my teens, I knew about the YWCA. You know, in all the volunteer work that I've done over the last 32 years, I'm very proud of many of the changes that we have made as a society, and many of the changes that these nonprofits that I have been close to have changed. The progress is incredible to have seen and to have been a part of, but mostly to have seen.
I'm passionate about my community, the Muslim community. I want to see them thriving. I want to see them living without discrimination, living without barriers, feeling that they belong in not just in America, in the communities they live in. And as long as there are barriers, I'm going to fight to break those barriers for them. Our communities won't be successful unless women who do different things, are serving different sectors of society, have different ways of leading, are all working to better our communities. And so it's just such an honor to be named as one of those honorees.
The advice I'd offer young women today is take opportunities, be confident. I think confidence is the key ingredient for success in careers. And for women, I think it's incredibly important to step outside the comfort zone. When you get an opportunity that seems not quite aligned, perhaps with what you think your skills or abilities are, take it. Experiment with it. Feel uncomfortable, because then those are sometimes the greatest personal growth and the greatest learn. An amazing honor to join the ranks of women that have preceded me and who I hold in great admiration. Some of them are colleagues at Vanderbilt, Charlene Dewey, Marilyn Debris, Consuelo Wilkins. These are inspirational role models for me. So actually to be in their company and engaged in more work with them now for the YWCA is incredibly special.
When I think about the ratification of the 19th Amendment, I think about my grandmother who lived in rural Tennessee in Robertson County, just north of Nashville. And she was a girl at that time. And I wonder if she and her mom knew that Nashville was such an important place for the ratification. And I also think about her ability to vote in a way her mother had not prior to the ratification. And then 100 years later, her own granddaughter is an elected official. And her own daughter has helped register voters and worked at the polls. And so 100 years goes by quickly, but it has a personal sort of connection for me.
Freedom means to me having the ability to authentically live your life and to not feel pressured or confined based upon the ideals or thoughts of others about how you live your life, what you do, how you do it, who you do it with, but just earnestly living in your passion and knowing that every day that you get up, the work that you're doing is the work that you are masterfully created to do, and that you embody your unique purpose for being here in every way imaginable.
So my advice for young women today is manifest what you want in life. If you believe it, you can see it, you can be it. So just do it. Read good books that motivate you, that push you, and that also bring you joy. Remember to always look for silver linings in everything. Life is just gonna throw you a lot of craziness, but there's probably always a silver lining to everything. Try not to have regrets, but look at anything that you could have done differently as a learning opportunity. And also, and I try to remember this too, so this is sort of advice to myself, is that you're not walking in anybody else's shoes. You don't know what walk that person is going through. You don't know what shoes they're wearing. So when you're communicating to others, try to remember that what they're going through is not what you're going through.
I'm Diana Ray Morero, Vice President, Cummins Business Services. Through the YWCA, Cummins has sponsored free car inspections for victims of domestic violence. Having a car is critical to being self-sufficient and financially independent. Through programs like this, Cummins further demonstrate our commitment to the economic empowerment of women.
And here is our 2020 AWA class. Jackie Akbari, Sabina Moyedin, Dr. Jennifer Petenpaul, Lolita Toney, Christy Wilson, and Cummings Filtration. As you stand and give them a big round of applause, I will note, unfortunately, 3 of the women from last year could not be with us tonight. Jenny Pupu Walker, Lisa Campbell, and Janet Miller. Congratulations, ladies. At this time, I'd also like to ask all of our past AWA honorees who are here tonight, please stand. As you notice, the theme from last year, She Persisted, honored the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment and the 15th anniversary of the passage of the Voting Rights Act. As we know, throughout history, women have had to persevere and prove they belong. AWA honorees have shown up in their communities and proved that their persistence is critical for fighting for racial, gender, and religious equality. And in 2021, they remain undeterred. The theme for the 30th anniversary for the Academy of Women of Achievement is Evolution is a Revolution. Revolutions just don't appear out of thin air. They start small and they become mighty. For YWCA Nashville and Middle Tennessee, the revolution to provide a better future for women and families took root in the hearts of bold and determined women more than a century ago. Today, we celebrate those achievements, and tomorrow, we march on. The vision to recognize those individuals who have helped create a stronger, more generous, and more just community began 30 years ago with the founding of the Academy for the Women of Achievement. Today, we celebrate those early achievements and inductees and welcome a new class of honorees who are making their own marks and improving our communities in bold and inspiring ways. That leads us tonight to our first honoree. Throughout her career, this woman has worked to uplift the value of education while highlighting the historical significance and present contributions of HBCUs. Dr. Glenda Glover is the 8th and the first woman president of Tennessee State University. Which, as many of you know, is her alma mater. Dr. Glover is also the international president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Her goal is to build and support leaders of the future. Let's hear more about Dr. Glover's inspiring life in her own words.
In talking about evolutions of revolutions, every day, that's my everyday life, impact and change. Revolutions start smaller and they grow. The history of HBCUs, I mean, that's the revolution I've taken on because we have to show the relevancy of historically Black colleges and universities. And so when I think about the revolutions, that's a significant part in development of our country to know what it means to, on the educational plane, to have the colleges and universities. That is a fantastic evolution of a revolution. My father was a civil rights leader in Memphis, and because we lived in the county area of Memphis, I watched a little boy's, one of my friends, their house burned down because the racial climate of the day didn't allow for the fire department to come across the line and put the fire out. And I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard. So the next day, my dad led a march downtown to get fire protection in our neighborhood. And I was there with him. I was a little girl, but I knew then that I wanted to be in a field, whether it was law enforcement, whether it was law itself, in some field that would assist individuals who were treated unequally. So that also contributed to my wanting to be a college president and work with African American students to teach them the value of education and how to assist in a world where everything is not created equal. Faith is my whole life. It describes who I am. It strengthens me from day to day. I know that the Lord has an anointing on my life, and that faith is a part of that anointing. It takes faith to lead a university. It takes faith to get up every morning and go and face the students who you know will depend on you to assist them with their future. It takes faith to live in this day and age in America. Faith is just who I am. YWCA is focusing on eliminating racism and ensuring just fundamental fairness. There has to be systematic and fair treatment of all, and that's what the YWCA stands for globally. This mission needs to be continued because of the issues that demand our attention: voting rights, climate justice, economic parity, maternal care. These are issues that demand equality. It's not the absence of discrimination, but it's the presence of a system that ensures fairness.
All right, Big Blue Rising. Congratulations, Dr. Glenda Baskin Glover, and welcome into the Academy for the Women of Achievement. Our next honoree has dedicated her career to making sure women and families are safe from violence. Diane Lance was called by former Mayor Carl Dean to assess the gaps in the criminal legal system. This massive study led to Nashville creating the first of its kind government department, the Office of Family Safety, a national and award-winning model of domestic and interpersonal violence work. Let's learn more about Diane, our second AWA honoree this evening.
Revolutions are definitely hard things, and I think one of the things that's most interesting about them is you often don't realize that you're leading a revolution until you're on the other end of it. That really happened to me back around 2011. I was tasked in Mayor Carl Dean's office with figuring out how our law enforcement and court systems could better protect victim safety and offender accountability. And it really is one of the most joyful experiences that I've ever had to involve over 100 members of our community that I deeply respect and survivors that I deeply appreciate of domestic violence, to really look at every aspect of our governmental systems that work with victims of domestic violence and decide how we can do better and how we should do better and how we must do better. Because of that revolution, our city now has 2 family justice centers, which is a remarkable thing. We have an award-winning family justice center in our courthouse. We certainly have the largest department of that kind in our country. So this revolution is to me something that every Nashvilleian should be so proud of. I'm deeply honored every day that my community has trusted me to move the needle. Anytime members of our community in the area of interpersonal violence come to me with a problem that they're having, I'm always so impressed with the bravery of that, with the level of commitment that you care enough about your work to even take that type of risk. And they influence me by pointing the way and showing me the direction and telling me what they need and giving me the trust and the gift of being able to go out and try to make that happen. I have a few things on my to-do list. My husband recently passed away, and I'm at 54, and just now understanding the complexities of grief. And in that understanding, I'm starting to recognize it in the clients that we serve. Grief is a long haul, and it's a tough slog. And I really would like to see our whole community, our nonprofits, and certainly our office learn more about grief and how you heal from it and hold hands with these victims through their grief, because it can last a really long time. The why, at its very core, is about getting to the root problems in our city. And I love the fact that they have this award to really spotlight women of achievement that have focused on those root concerns in our community and tried to find ways to find solutions.
Congratulations, Diane, and welcome to the Academy for Women of Achievement. Our next honoree is known by many as a successful businesswoman and financial leader. But she also dove into Nashville's nonprofit community as a member and chair of several organizations and boards, including the Nashville Education Foundation and the YWCA. Wanda Lyle's leadership has made a tremendous impact on our community. Let's learn more about Wanda in the video.
When my husband and I decided that I would pursue an opportunity in management, it was really a defining moment for me and my family. There were not a lot of women that were in management positions with financial services, and almost no married women. So it was a very untraditional path. My husband gave up his job, and we moved from Memphis to Overland Park, Kansas, for my first management position. It taught all of us about evaluating risk and taking well thought out risk to achieve goals or to do what we thought was best for our family. When I was in middle school, we went to the principal and said, guys should be able to take home economics and girls should be able to take shop. He said, well, spend a day in shop and see if it's something that you really want to do or you think other girls want to do, and we'll talk about it. And so we did, and they changed it. We did have girls that took shop and learned how to do woodworking and that sort of thing. And like I said, it wasn't that any of the girls wanted to take shop. We just wanted the choice and thought that the guys should have the choice as well. And that kind of grew as I got older and influenced a lot of things, making choices and taking chances became part of how I moved on in my career. Well, there are a lot of revolutionary people that I admire, but I actually, the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking about this question earlier was my two daughters. We moved 5 times while they were growing up, and they had to adjust and make new friends and acclimate, and now one is a nurse and one is a teacher by education, and they have traveled broadly without fear and to speak up when they see something that needs to be addressed. And so I think, they are, who I admire most because of all the things that they have the courage to stand up for and speak boldly about. The mission of the YWCA is sadly still relevant because domestic abuse and domestic violence still exists. 1 out of 4 women will experience domestic violence. And until that goes away, that part of the mission is critically important. Racism still exists. We've seen multiple examples of that highlighted in the past year or 2 years and over history. And until we can say that it's truly eliminated and that all people are treated with dignity and respect, that mission will remain relevant, not just for the YW Middle Tennessee, but for everyone.
Congratulations, Wanda. Welcome to the Academy for the Women of Achievement. Our next honoree is a bridge builder in her community due to the intersectionality of her identity. She represents multiple groups, the Muslim, Black, and immigrant communities. Savat Sawari saw a need and stepped up. She is a role model and a champion for equality and justice. Let's learn more now in this video.
There is a saying that if you train a man, you've trained one person. But if you train a woman, you've trained a nation. And the reason is because women are very nurturing, women are teachers, women are the ones that bring the children together and teach them. It's just by nature who we are. And I think that's why it's very important for us to continue to empower women. The biggest thing that is at the core of all that I want to do is equity. And so what I hope that I will continue to do with so many others is making sure that we talk about who is missing from the table. When we're making decisions, who is not benefiting from it. If I want to be specific in terms of issues, then it will be housing, because a lot of people are being priced out of Nashville. And then lastly, education, education, education. My dad always says that education is the one thing that is yours that nobody can take away from you. I brought mine from Africa. It's what has benefited me up to today. And I think that we need to equip our children with the best education so that they can go anywhere in the world and compete anywhere. It's a very small world now, and they can be the best that they can be. So those are the things that I'm hoping I can do in such a short time. One of the ones that stood out for me the most is starting the junior achievement in Adams County. I was the president for about 10 years, maybe even more, before I left Bolivar, and we touched thousands of kids in Adams County. Some of our kids went to Ivy League schools. We were able to supplement the teachers. We were able to supplement what the school is doing. We were able to bring volunteers into the classrooms that were able to encourage the kids, talk to them about their day, and I'm so proud that I never gave up on that. And that there's still kids that are benefiting from that up till today. I always tell everyone that I cannot say JA did it by itself, but what I do know is that it changed the trajectory. I know that it makes changes. It did not make things worse in our schools. It made it better. My biggest accomplishment that I'm most proud of are my 5 children. All that they've done, all that they continue to do, the men and women that they've grown into. Sometimes they speak and I'm like, where did you get that from? How did you get to be so smart? The other one that I would think about is my election is a big accomplishment because I think that when I started running, I had no idea I was going to be the first of this and first of that. But since being elected, people have come up to me around the world. Being able to be that motivation for people has been impactful. The other thing that it's also done is that I believe that I have a voice on the council and I bring a perspective that is very unique because of my many identities. And so being able to be at the table and to offer those perspectives and to be able to be part of the group that makes a decision that impacts people's life, I think it's a big responsibility and it's an honor and something that I don't take very lightly.
Congratulations, Councilwoman Sarawara, and welcome to the 30th class of the Academy for Women of Achievement. And now to our final individual honoree of the evening. Darkenya Waller describes herself as a servant at heart. She has spent her career serving victims of domestic violence and is the first African American and woman to lead Tennessee's largest nonprofit law firm, Legal Aid Society of Middle Tennessee and the Cumberlands. Let's learn more about this powerful advocate for women and champion for justice.
I'm a servant at heart. I grew up that way. I'm a preacher's kid. I knew that my path would be somewhere where I could directly help people, and that's what I get to do every day at the Legal Aid Society. I know that was the right decision because what I do each day is fun for me. It's enjoyable. I know that I'm doing things that are changing people's lives, and I could probably do it for free. I recall one particular case I had where the judge was going to grant an order of protection for my client, but for good measure was going to give an order of protection on behalf of the alleged abuser as well. Well, this is not legal. The law does not permit that. And it was challenging for me to argue that what the judge was preparing to do was in fact illegal and couldn't be done. He ruled against me anyway, and I came back and filed a motion to challenge him, basically threatening that if he didn't change his ruling, that I was going to take it to the Court of Appeals. After listening to my arguments, he changed it. And what that did for my client is it didn't label her as something that she wasn't, which was an equal aggressor in her abuse. There's truly a moment happening in our society and in our community right now. And I have done everything within my power and within my platform to advance the cause of racial justice and equity. Not always easy to do, especially when everyone doesn't understand or have empathy for the changes that need to occur. But it has certainly empowered me to push even harder because I recognize the need. My advice to someone who would want to take a stand on a cause is to not go it alone. If there is something that you are passionate about, it's very likely that there are others who are passionate about it as well. Find your community, find your tribe, collaborate, and push that mission forward. The mission of the YWCA of empowering women and eliminating racism is so important because these are areas that really need improvement in our community. And to know that there is a vanguard, there's someone out there who's got an eye on this issue and is constantly looking to make improvements is important. We saw during the summer of 2020 how important eliminating racism is, and it has taken a leadership role in this community to ensure that we are paying attention to this issue. That's huge.
Congratulations, Darkenia. Welcome to the Academy for Women of Achievement. You join an outstanding group of leaders and role models. And now we honor our corporate honoree, an organization that has strong connections to the YWCA and the Academy for the Women of Achievement. This Nashville-based regional powerhouse communications firm has been an AWA sponsor for nearly 2 decades. MP&F Strategic Communications is routinely voted as one of the best workplaces in Nashville, and give it up for that. And women have always been encouraged to lead. In fact, it became a majority woman-owned business in 2019. Let's learn more now about our 2021 AWA corporate honoree.
This isn't a story of how we helped a bunch of our clients become a success in Nashville. This is a story of how those clients helped make Nashville a success. Thank you, AWA, for honoring all women and for supporting women-owned businesses in Nashville. A city doesn't become great without great partnerships. We're proud to be a part of some of Nashville's greatest partnerships.
Presenting the award to MPNF is YWCA President and CEO Sharon Roberson and Board Chair Amanda Weeks-Jividen. YWCA is proud to honor MPNF Strategic Communications for its outstanding contribution to women in the workforce and the community. I would also like to note that the award is dedicated in the memory of managing partner Alice Chapman, a champion for women issues in the community. Right now, I would like to welcome your YWCA Board Chair, Amanda.
Tonight. This event was the very first event that I had the opportunity to attend in 2012 when I moved back to Nashville. Each and every year, it reassures me that I live in the right city when you have women being recognized and corporations being recognized. It also brings me to tears every single year to watch all these videos, and this year was absolutely true in that as well. So it's an honor to be with you tonight. When I think about tonight, it always takes me back to what Sharon talked about, which is, she says, mission first in all of our meetings. This is what we do, the mission. As we sit here tonight, just a few miles away, as we talked about earlier, the 13,000 nights of safety for women and children at our Weaver Domestic Violence Center. We saw firsthand under Sharon and her incredible team's leadership and at our board level, the invisible pandemic of domestic violence that was concurrent with COVID-19. Our calls to the Weaver Domestic Violence Center were up 70% in just the first few months and 30% in the first year of the pandemic. The YWCA never stopped providing service. We never shut the doors. And just to share with you, as a board member in that time, we are thinking about a communal living service with women and women with children, somewhat small children, living in a center where they're seeking safety. The children are not in school, the mothers are not leaving, and we're feeding families 3 times a day and trying to educate virtually and entertain children. At one point, Sharon was teaching science class on Sunday afternoon, and that was impactful for the work that we did. The YWCA is part of the true fabric of this city, of Nashville and Middle Tennessee. And if you've been around the YWCA, you know my favorite thing to do is to raise money for this mission. And so that's what I'm going to ask you to do tonight. Thinking about all the amazing folks that we recognize from the 2020 class, the 2021 honorees tonight, I ask that you help us advance the mission of what we're doing. It's moving it forward. It's eliminating racism. It's empowering women. It's promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. That's what this entire staff and this board and all of our volunteers are working towards every day. If you have your program handy, let me see your orange envelope. Because if you are YWCA dedicated, you bleed orange. Not UT orange. I do have a son there, so we have checks going there. But it's YW orange. So if you hold this envelope up, what I ask you to do tonight, what I'm going to be doing tonight is I'm going to be making a gift in honor of these honorees tonight. MPNF and all of our 2021 honorees give a gift in honor of the work that they do in the city, and I ask that all of you do that. One of the things, as Sharon talked about, saluting our Chief Development Officer, Beth Board, has said to us over and over, how do we build our tent? How do we take this mission to greater Nashville and Middle Tennessee? And it's with each and every one of you today, whether it's part of your treasure or part of the time to volunteer or going out and telling the stories of these amazing honorees
and the work that we do at the YWCA of Nashville and Middle Tennessee. I encourage you to grab a pen, fill something out. A $50 donation allows a woman and her children to have a taxi ride or an Uber ride to get out of a dangerous situation and get to the Weaver Domestic Violence Center. So with that, I thank you for being here tonight. Sharon, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, everyone. All I have to say is we are back in 2022. We are finally back. Thank you all for being here. Please drive safely. I ask that all the 2021 and all the past AWA honorees please come to the stage very quickly for a photo shoot. So thank you, drive safely, and support the YW.
Nothing seems complete. I stand up and I'm searching for the better part of me. I hang my head from sorrow. So much state of humanity. What's up? Wearing on my shoulders, gotta find the strength